morning, and welcome to Politics on the Rocks, your weekly source of... Does anyone have anything? No.
Spiritual enlightenment.
There you go, that's a good one. That was Wild Child by the Ghosts of Paul Revere. As always, I'm your host. To my right, we have Chris.
Yeah.
And Bookie.
Good day.
What's up? And then, of course, always, because we're at his house, Cameron.
Hey.
And our special guest.
Special guest this evening is Heaven's Door, straight bourbon whiskey. And this is Bob Dylan's bourbon.
And there's your spiritual enlightenment.
There it is, right
Bob
there.
Dylan.
Heaven's
Nice.
Door, yeah. Did you guys get a taste or no?
Not
No.
yet.
No.
I poured like a big glass of that High
It's
West.
Yeah, the High West from last
I
week.
don't know. It's good. But it has like it's like pretty
Let me have a sip of yours. Just 'cause-
strong. It's like it's only 92 proof, but it feels like
Only 92 proof.
maybe like 100 proof, or at least 100. It's good though.
It says it should have a lot of baking notes, vanilla,
Bacon.
baking.
I was going to say, it smells like a cupcake almost.
It does. Yeah, it's got a sweet smell.
That's pretty good. I like that. I think I like this High West a little bit better, but...
I think I do too.
Yeah. But that's our drink for the evening.
I had to try that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So this week we're going to talk about some cool things. We have the juicy smoothie verdict. Jessie Smollett, for those of you who didn't catch that. We're going to talk about DeSantis. He's thinking about letting businesses pay state fees with cryptocurrencies, which is pretty cool. And then he's also proposing new crackdowns on immigrants illegally entering the country in mainly Florida. And there's a bunch of other shit, too, that we're going to talk about. So, yeah.
No. Very good.
What was that? You have a lion in your house?
Puma just ran by.
Yeah. Anyway, so do we want to jump in or do we want to bullshit for a minute?
I think we just jump right in
All right, go for it.
because that's bullshitting. What topic do you guys want to start first? The crypto?
Sure.
Daddy D with his crypto
Daddy D.
bro,
Crypto bro of the week.
right? Oh, there he is. So does this make Daddy D our base bro of the week?
We don't have one. I mean, it's either him or Max Verstappen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe.
Pretty based of him to win the... even more based that he beat who he beat.
Good point.
True.
An
Lewis
Englishman?
Hamilton.
Oh,
What?
an Englishman?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Florida Governor Ron DeSantis proposed letting businesses pay state fees with cryptocurrency. The Republican governor announced his idea, the idea in his 2022 to 2023 budget proposal released Thursday. In his Freedom First budget, DeSantis suggested providing $200,000 to the state's financial services department in order to give them the ability to accept state fees from Florida corporations in cryptocurrency. So what's interesting is, why do they need $200,000 to set that up?
Come on, dude.
I could do it for like free.
It's like you have to get your crypto.com app, and then you got to open a bank account.
Yeah.
All that costs at least $500,000.
And then you gotta get a virtual wallet, and then you gotta make sure that wallet's, got a safe.
Yeah.
I thought this was cool. He also proposed allocating another $500,000 to exploring the use of blockchain technology to maintain and provide motor vehicle titles and to authenticate Medicaid transactions and identify potential fraud. According to the report from Fortune, DeSantis said he's hoping to make the state government crypto-friendly, which I think we are all in favor of something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes as like Miami is like a huge cryptocurrency hub.
Yeah.
You know?
They have that convention there every year, and there's
Yeah,
a
the
lot
convention, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
of crypto bros there.
I think in the mayor of Miami is pretty crypto happy.
Yeah. Sometimes he gets paid in crypto.
He gets paid in crypto?
Yeah, I think he wants to get paid in crypto.
Yeah. Maybe he's another base bro. We got 3 base bros this week.
Why doesn't he
Well, I
just
don't know his base, but
buy crypto with his money?
Huh?
Why doesn't he just buy crypto with his money?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely an option.
Um,
A lot of that, like even some like you have like NFL players and stuff like that who take like a piece of their salary in crypto, and a lot of it's like just promoting crypto in some way, just I don't know, it is what it is, but
yeah, I've noticed recently not recently, but just you can kind of see how like government's trying to get their greedy little hands on crypto, like one way or another. And as it's getting more and more popular, and it's kind of you see it advertised everywhere, like Crypto.com. We talked about the other day how the Staples Center is being changed to the Crypto.com arena. Like it's becoming mainstream now. It's not just like your libertarian edgelords that are investing heavily in this stuff. And you even see like major companies keeping huge parts of their savings in crypto and things like that over the past couple of years. But yeah, I don't know. One thing today, I logged on to Coinbase, and I mean, this is on me for not learning more about this stuff up until this point and like getting my stuff off of there. But it seems like it's gonna be kind of a good idea to get your crypto off of these platforms.
Well, yeah, if you're storing any crypto, you want it in a hard wallet, so it's like a wallet that's off the internet,
Yeah, something that's not connected to the internet, or there's a bunch of different ways to do it, and you can look it up.
Right,
online,
which that alone sounds weird to people because it's a completely online currency. So it's like, how the hell can you keep it off the internet? But that's the beauty of the blockchain. That's actually something you could do.
There's paper wallets, which are I feel a little bit risky, but
because if you lose that
piece of paper,
physical form of
but yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways that you can store it that's not on these Coinbase or Crypto.com or these like platforms that hold it for you. So what I was getting at was today I logged on to Coinbase and they were like, enter all this additional info by July 22nd, or you won't be able to use crypto, or you won't be able to use Coinbase.
Oh, I thought that
was like they're like legally obligated to ask you for all this additional info about like your occupation and things like that.
I thought that was because I got that same email and I clicked on it and I looked at like where the email came from and I didn't recognize it, so I was like, oh, this is definitely some bullshit.
But yeah, I mean, and you see how they're reacting to these legal obligations. They're bowing down to it immediately. They're not pushing back at all. So that's if the government were to institute some sort of ban on crypto, you'd be fucked, because these companies are gonna do exactly what the government tells them to do. Yeah, they're gonna fold, and so that's why it's super important to get your crypto off of these platforms and onto something physical that
the government can't get their little dick beaters on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing about the whole crypto, the whole crypto craze is unless they're willing to completely tank the internet, there's no way that they can actually control or stop it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Everybody would have to turn their computers off at the same exact time forever.
Yeah.
Did you see there was some guy recently who's claimed that he was the guy who wrote the white paper, like the founding document for Bitcoin?
Yamiyasho Mishimoto or whatever his name is?
Yeah, well, that's an alias.
Yeah,
so we know the
that.
alias name, but we don't know Satoshi, right?
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
the smallest form of Bitcoin is. But yeah, so that's like the guy who created it, but some guy, like, I don't know, in court, like, claimed that he was the guy who founded Bitcoin. He definitely wasn't Japanese. He was like Italian or something.
Probably
not. Really
I don't see the guy that went out of his way to remain anonymous. Just all of a sudden,
well, yeah,
after 15 years ago. Oh yeah, you know what? It's me,
Mario.
I was gonna say, that
It's
sounds
me,
like an
I'm
Italian
Mario.
move, Just gonna show up and be like,
hey, it's a me.
I did it. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Christopher Columbus comes over here. He's like, I founded this.
Yeah,
He's like, no,
he's like, he's mine.
it's
He's for me.
Welcome to India.
He's for me.
I think this is interesting though, because obviously he doesn't specify. Well, not that he would, because crypto obviously is a bunch of different currency, right? It's Ethereum. Most famous is Bitcoin.
I think even now
Dogecoin.
these new NFTs are kind of, I mean, they're not cryptocurrencies, but they're kind of even...
They work in a similar...
Yeah, they're all, based on the blockchain and stuff like that, so...
But I think it's interesting because isn't the Fed trying to come out with their own coin?
Fed coin?
The dollar, US dollar coin?
Yeah.
Coin?
It's just
I
the
think
US dollar.
That one's already existing, right? The USD coin. They might be doing something else, though. I wouldn't be surprised. How's the Let's Go Brandon coin doing?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, that started a month or two ago. And Candace Owens was pushing it like crazy. She's probably got fucking $100,000 worth of that shit.
It's not worth much. 9.92 to the negative 7th power.
Yeah, well, it was last time I looked at it, it was something like that.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. But look at the graph. Did it go up at all? Oh yeah, everyone dumped it as soon as it spiked a little bit.
Classic.
Now
They're
it's
this isn't happening.
The goof was fun.
Yeah, it's at 1/1,000,000th of a cent right now.
Hell yeah.
It's
time to hop in, boys. Hop in at the bottom.
Buy the dip, brother!
Ride it.
There's so many crypto bros on now. It's the last year and a half. Everyone's become an overnight expert on this thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think this was just interesting because again, us being liberty-minded people and we understand the fiat currency that we currently use day to day is not the strongest thing, to say the least.
Yeah,
And
especially when they print just at will.
Whoa. When they print 30% of it within the last...
No, I think it's over 70, right? Isn't it 70 or 80% of all the currency in circulation was printed in the last 2 years?
I thought it was 25, but I think...
No, I'm just fucking making up numbers, I guess.
I think the number was kind of disputed, though, because, I don't know. I saw that someone was saying that might not be totally accurate.
Still, they printed, 6 trillion in the last 2 years, at least?
At least, yeah, because those two bills went through.
Yeah.
For
Still, that's a crazy amount of money that came out of nowhere. And, I don't know, it's cool that, unfortunately, we still have to pay taxes in 5 years. DeSantis at least going to let you pay with a couple of Satoshis.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, there you go. If it keeps tanking like it has been, though, we might all be broke. But,
Didn't they just raise the debt ceiling, too?
Yeah, they just raised the debt ceiling.
We don't
I like that. I like that tweet that you reposted. It was
yeah. He's like, America always pays its debts. That's why I raised the debt ceiling. It's like
obviously we're not paying them if we
Wait a
have to do
second.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the tweet.
Shouldn't
Where
we be
is
able
it?
to pay some of it off?
The United
so we don't have
States-
to raise the debt ceiling.
The United States pays its debts when they are due. That's why today I signed the bill to fast track the process to raise our debt limit.
And so it's like saying I pay off my credit cards. That's why I just opened a new credit card so I can spend more.
Yeah,
Because my other one's maxed out.
And use that new limit to pay off.
because
the
I'm
old
not paying
Yeah.
the debt.
Yeah. But I think if people are interested, or more importantly, were interested, it'd be interesting to go through that budget that he put forward. So I think he came out with that, like I said, on Friday. Freedom First budget for the 2022-2023.
Okay.
Because obviously within that, first paragraph Nick read, 200,000 is going towards setting up the ability to accept cryptocurrency. Which raises red flags immediately. The fact that the government takes just so much money.
To do anything.
Yeah.
Just the simplest shit would just cost $100,000.
You actually had something in the notes about
Yeah,
that.
I was just about to bring that kind of brings us into that small topic. It was somewhere in Florida where they this guy, it was a cybersecurity office, spent $400,000 on remodeling the office.
Jesus.
And this is a Florida State cybersecurity office in the Tampa area
$400,000.
of taxpayer money.
He spent $85,000 just in TVs.
Let's just be a little
The
more.
fuck? How many TVs did he buy?
I think he bought 8, and they're all super high tech, touchscreen, 4K TVs that you
God
can,
forbid you have to use a mouse, right?
What a jackass, huh?
So now they're
Yeah.
saying they're limiting his budget.
Because he spent it all.
But yeah, I mean,
I guess he spent like $150,000 just on carpet.
Yeah.
Who wants carpet?
Oh, wait, let me say something. How can you spend $150,000 on carpet? Well, like that doesn't even sound like it's
Shit's like $2 a foot, isn't it?
It'd have to be
Installed.
a big ass office.
Well, Cameron, if you take the conspiracy theory route, these government officials and government people in office, when they spend money on their budgets, they go to people they know.
That's true.
And then these people they know give them inflated prices to do the simplest task.
Yeah.
Either that or
the guy made like $100,000 to put down some carpet.
Those
like,
chairs don't even look comfortable. Frankly.
No.
It's either that or these air quote carpets are actually children
Yes.
that they're molesting, fucking, and then eating.
Well, that's certainly.
But yeah, so again, if people listening, they just want to look up Tampa Bay $400,000 cybersecurity office. The pictures you look at, it literally looks like a school.
It does not look appealing.
Like a nice school.
That carpet is ugly as fuck.
It's like a grid.
It's
carpet.
got like geometric shapes on it. Like it looks like a fucking 1990s.
Like
public
when I'm
school.
looking at this,
Yeah, I was looking at it, I was like, does it do something special? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does it not,
it's
like...
heated carpet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Wow. They said the intent was to make the place look like a tech startup company. God, if I went to a tech
80s.
startup company, it looked like this. Yeah, like this is Microsoft in the 80s right here.
This looks like like a low budget state college library.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus, fucking A. Yeah, that's
Hopefully,
ugly.
he puts nets underneath the windows. Fucking people jumping out.
Yeah, they're gonna need them.
Fuck, dude. But yeah, so again, that's just like a little story. This happened in Florida. $400,000 of a cybersecurity budget went to remodeling. Taxpayer money. So yeah, people are interested. Maybe, and if we're interested even more to go through that Freedom First budget, it could be fun. It could be really depressing.
Yeah, it could be very depressing.
More than likely, it's very depressing.
Yeah.
And probably very boring.
Oh my god.
$5,400 a piece for these 86-inch touchscreen monitors.
Yeah.
What?
With accompanying wheeled stands that cost $1,300 a piece.
Bro, you could get those TVs at Walmart for like $1,000 max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam's Club.
Preposterous.
Jesus.
And it
TVs
just
cost
goes
nothing
to,
nowadays.
It just goes to show you that, like, when it's somebody else's money, it's no problem.
Yeah.
You know?
You swipe that card.
You just swipe it. You just swipe it. Because it's not yours. It's
I
not
bet
going to
those are
affect
fucking
you.
Vizios, huh?
Yeah.
And you know what, the I don't know who is actively doing this, but how well they are at hiding this kind of, frivolous government spending. They've done such a good job because people will actively attack the, billionaires in this country, completely ignoring the fact that, I mean, this is a local government and they spent almost
$500,000.
close to $500,000 on like just a bunch of shit. Like literally, it's just a bunch of shit.
Desk and TVs and rugs.
Yeah.
$144,000 on carpet. That's crazy to me.
That is preposterous.
Dude, some contractors like, yeah, this is the price, man.
Yeah, they got a government.
Yeah, his buddy.
Exactly.
His buddy he went to friends with, or maybe it's his gay lover. I don't know, but like, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. So, hey man, you want to put down some carpet? You ever put down carpet before?
And then
yeah,
this
I
is
do
that
now.
kind of office carpet that's like it's in tiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this shit is not. It's not like installing rolled carpet. It's like tiles.
This it reminds me of
crazy to
like
me.
like super rich people. Like whenever they have like contractors do work on their house, they like will refuse to pay below like a certain amount because they're like,
if it didn't cost this much.
Yeah, like I'm paying for what I'm getting, so I'm gonna like just pay them pay them good, and then like make sure that they do the work correctly.
Right. Yeah, they pay for the right to
Right.
bitch at you.
Yeah, like I've heard stories like that. Very like one guy that I work with, he moved here not long ago from New Hampshire, and he used to do like interior work, like finishing work and stuff. And he said he did one in like these people that were like royalty from like Saudi Arabia that have this house in New Hampshire, and he like said that they offered him like twice what he bid for the project. They were just like, no, you're gonna take this. He's like, okay. He's like, all right, I'll stay here all year.
That's it, man. There's those guys, those Saudi Arabian guys. They have so much money, and it's like uncounted for money.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like
That's why they're not on the
Elon
list.
Musk and Bezos aren't the richest people in the world.
no, like those guys are for sure. But like they don't let you know how much they have. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
but they own countries and like it's preposterous.
They own parts of countries and
Yeah.
oil fields and
I
slaves.
was like on Google Maps one day, and forget what city it was, but one of those like Saudi cities, like on the water, and there's like a whole island that's like man-made, and it's like the Sheikh's island, like
Yeah.
it's his personal island.
Oh, yeah,
the whole
for sure.
fucking thing. Mm-hmm. It's got all these massive buildings on it and shit.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's insane money, man. Yep.
What else we got?
We could jump into the. I don't know. You guys want to bounce around? We could do a different topic, or we could stick
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Daddy D, or
Oh, yeah. Let's do this Moms for Liberty just because I clicked the link already.
okay.
Jennifer Pippin, who heads the Indian River County chapter... What, do you want to go?
No, I mean just before we kind of talked about it before. So I saw this article. I'm like, oh, this might be interesting. There's nothing really interesting in this article.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
Every-
skip this then.
All the text is literally just describing what the photos are.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't really give
you're
you
right.
much depth.
But I mean, I don't know. I guess we can just quickly say, since we brought it up, like this group, Moms for Liberties, they're national organization now, and they started in Melbourne, Florida, which is right near where we are. And yeah, what kind of stuff are they like advocating for?
So the big thing, the reason why they got into the school board and they made it a, I guess, nonprofit or whatever it's called, is because of the schooling mass. So they got super in depth, like super into like school board stuff. So they started off doing that, and now, you know, I don't know, it's humongous. It started in Melbourne, Florida. Now it's within 33 states, and they're just going after everything.
This is when you know you're fucked. Is when you get the moms pissed off.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, well, shit, look at this. One of them's got a picture of, I guess, a book from the library. It's like anime porn.
Nice.
Wait. Where did you see that? Because I was looking for...
I'm like,
Yeah,
almost
showing
at
it
the
on her
bottom.
phone. She's
The
showing
Indian
it on her
River
phone.
County chapter of Moms for Liberty attends a school board meeting to fight for the removal of books in school libraries they deem to be pornographic or sexually explicit. The board and Superintendent David Moore listened to public comment before discussing a motion brought by the board member Jacqueline Rosario.
Curious what Dr. Moore's opinion on this was.
He's like, I think we need to go back to masking the children. That's all I have to say.
I think they need to wear the mask over their eyes as well, so they can't see these books.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we'll leave the books there.
So, yeah, and this is...
But you know me, I don't like masks.
Yeah.
So this was the article with mainly because again, Indian River County, where we're from, their charter. This is what they're going after now, and I think it's happening all over the country. Really, like people are getting more like what's in our kids' school libraries, and they're seeing things they don't necessarily agree with. You know, whether a religious basis or even like just a general, like I guess moral standard, and they don't think their children should see these things, which is perfectly understandable. They're like, hey, why is this in my school's library where Johnny goes? You know?
like
I wish
we-
they gave more examples. I mean, you
Yeah.
said you saw anime porn, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, there was just
It's
one
like the
picture.
third picture from the last, second or third picture from the last one.
One picture of some
Third,
lady
it's the third
showing
one
it
from the
on her
last.
phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
But
picture.
if you zoom in on her phone, you can see the PDF. It's like library book number whatever, and it's got like
Oh, so you can pull it up on the fucking website.
yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. Well, this is like one of another like, and I feel like we can finally start talking about silver linings now that like most people are out of the wood, out of the the craziness of this COVID stuff. But it's just like one of the silver linings right now. Parents are like, people are starting to pay more attention to shit that they haven't been paying attention to and they should have been paying attention to. Like
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
good.
this like what the hell's been going on in your kids' schools that you send them there for 8 out of the 13 or 14 hours a day that they're awake.
Why is there even anime in the school library?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's culture.
Like I remember, years ago they were advocating against taking out like
Comics and
classic literary books, like To Kill a Mockingbird, and well, that I guess that's the only one I really remember There's definitely a few other ones. Oh, I think Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Tom Sawyer too, right?
Yeah, a bunch of books that just had the N-word in it.
Yeah.
Well, you see now they're rewriting.
The whole point of all of these books was that racism is wrong.
You see, they're rewriting George Orwell. What is it, 1984?
Yeah, from the female character's perspective.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah,
But I think Chris, you're right. I mean, once you piss off like the moms,
yeah, that's where
they start a nonprofit and they go for the world, man.
yeah, and I would err on the side that most of these women are probably like QAnon crazy people. So you really don't want to fuck with them.
No, they're gonna go for the throats.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Now they're going to start paying attention to every book. Like, it's funny. It's funny because
in the library.
Oh yeah, it's funny because like I'm thinking to myself like how many like young men or like or young boys right are like scouring the library for like
anime titties.
Yeah, I mean it's just probably not happening
when they can just take out their iPhone and look at it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That their mom gives
or
them.
their mom's yeah, right, exactly. So it's a little bit silly, but
I guess the argument against that is like they could be pulling it up on their phones, but that's like on the parent to regulate. The school is like
That's correct. If I want my child to see anime titties, I want it to be from my phone, not the library.
And that's just crazy that would like. First of all, I think anime in general shouldn't be in the library because it's super gay.
Whoa.
No, I mean, obviously, I think it's dumb, but whatever. People like it, but the other thing is like this is literally anime porn. Like,
yeah, you've seen it, right?
Yeah, it's like,
do you see nipple?
Turn the TV on.
How did that even make its way into the library in the first place? Like the school library.
So I wonder if and again, not to get like
maybe someone just dropped it off
too far into this because
it got scanned in. So
this is kind of weird, but yeah, I wonder if like there's like in some school libraries there's like a not like a donation, but like. A
Dropbox where you leave books in?
No, they always want kids to be, like, more involved,
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, hey, tell us what books you want to see in your library.
Right, yeah.
And fucking...
That's probably what happened.
Tomboy Jimmy over there is like, yeah, this book. It's just
and they buy it without looking?
Yeah, exactly.
Slipped by.
They're like, oh, look at this Japanese comic book.
This is culture.
That's the thing is
They're like, what is hentai?
like John Boy Jimmy.
See, Kim?
No, I got it right here.
Yeah. See, like, I could understand if, it was a book where,
they're just giving a bath in their mouth. That's all.
Where, like, maybe it was, written out and they were talking about, like, sexually explicit stuff. But, like, it's literally a picture book. Like, all the person at the library has to do, which literally this is their only fucking job, is flip through the goddamn book and see.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that comes back to being a government job. But yeah.
Well, yeah, they're probably just sitting on their phone watching anime porn.
Yeah, exactly. we just find out Edinburgh County has a humongous anime hentai porn problem.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
From top down, like freaking David Morris is like looking at it while this is going on at the school board meeting.
He's like, yes, continue. Bring more evidence.
It's like, wait, is that from chapter 5?
Oh man.
Is that when the squid comes out with the tentacles?
Oh shit. But so like, I guess just to give my quick opinion because I saw this and I was like, oh, this could be kind of really cool because again, like Nick was saying, the silver lining with COVID has been a lot more people are getting more involved, and even if they're like,
hey, do you have a lighter I can use?
Quote unquote wrong, this is a thing where they're just putting more pushback towards the government. What's going on?
I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
No, I just noticed that like none of us are smoking cigars.
Oh yeah, I was in a rush to get over here. I didn't stop and get one.
I noticed that at the
weird.
beginning. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But back to my point. So again, this is like a silver lining. And even these people are not doing something I would be like, oh, this is worth their time. At least they're putting more pushback to government, which is wasting government's time, which is always a good thing in my opinion. But I was looking at their their mission statement from their website. It's all flowery language, like, oh, we're here fighting for the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. Okay, that's cool. Doesn't really mean that much to me. I don't want to pay for your kid to go to school. And then, like, one of their tenets on how they fight is promote liberty. So we promote teaching the principles of liberty in our homes and community. And like,
Very nice.
yeah, that's awesome.
You got a cutter?
But like, do you promote homeschooling? 'Cause that way they don't see the hentai porn at the library.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Well, because like they promote liberty and within their homes and it, but it's like, do you promote
Anti-porn liberty?
hentai porn? No, do you promote homeschooling?
Oh, yeah.
You know, because obviously, coming from my standpoint,
Ultimate.
exactly. I don't want to be paying for your kid to go to school, or even my
Right.
kid to go to a government school.
Right.
You know, go to a private school or homeschool. And yeah, I don't know. It's not really like ironic, but it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're for liberty, which is cool, but
you're sending your kids to government indoctrination.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, I would almost prefer to see them, do more outside of the school board and more like with, tax reform. Like, hey, let me keep this fucking money
exactly.
so I can, pay for whatever school I want my kid to go to.
Yeah, sometimes it's like whenever you're trying to, because, I mean, I think we all agree the public school system is just
Shit.
totally fucked and it's shit. It would be nice to see more people just turning away from it instead of trying to work within the system to change it somehow, which is obviously never going to happen.
exactly.
And just saying,
Enough.
See
is
you guys
enough,
later.
kinda. Yeah.
It's like
we're going to start our, homeschooling groups where, maybe because the toughest part about homeschooling is the fact that, not everybody can stay home to do it. And so, if they were to start their own groups where, a certain number of moms actually have the time to do it, and they would be willing to take on other kids and things like that.
or you just find like a really good teacher, like, hey, you get paid $40,000 a year in a shitty job to
Right,
make
me
42,
Right.
and we get like 30 people or 25 people together.
Yeah.
See, and a lot of the and another part of like that with a lot of the issue comes with anytime you have you are responsible for minors, there's like so much government red tape, right? So say you do have that teacher, right, that's making $40,000 a year,
Unless your
And
name's
you
Jeffrey
have-
Epstein.
I was just thinking
Jesus
that.
Christ, I know. And you have, let's say, whatever, 20 parents who have, however many kids, and those 20 parents are willing to pay you, combine whatever it is, $50,000, $60,000 a year for, you to teach their kids. Well, okay, where's he going to do it? At his house? You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, if he does do it at his house, like, there's so much shit that goes into having, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's requirements for how much space you have per student, and
Oh, yeah.
how many
I mean,
bathrooms,
in
and
other
are you
words-
feeding them, and
In other words, they've made it impossible for you to do that.
yes,
Right.
that's
Wait.
more or less what I'm getting at. yeah.
Which is so preposterous, right? Because teachers don't make any money. So like well,
I mean,
okay.
they don't work for like 4 months.
Yeah, no, and trust me, I'm right there with you guys on this, right? But if you take the suggestion Bookie just made and find a good teacher and say this is the teacher I want, and also hey, you're probably not going to have a 3-month period where you're not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just forget about that. But and we'll pay you $60,000 a year, whatever. And they know, they're going to take the extra time, whatever it may be. That's such a better system.
Our teachers really love to teach kids.
Yeah. What?
No, it's one of those things where I'm not a teacher. I don't want to be around kids all day. But if you are one, I'm assuming you enjoy teaching kids, right? You enjoy, bringing them up and helping them learn. I feel like that would be your ultimate way to do it, right? Not have red tape around you of a school, not having a superintendent
I
tell
mean,
you
you
what
hear
to
teachers
do.
say it all the time, right? They say, the biggest problem is the administrators.
Exactly.
There's too many of them, and they're too encroaching.
Oh, that's every single argument you've
And
ever
also-
heard from every single teacher.
Also, they take up too much of the funding.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
exactly.
that's the truth.
Yeah, well, shit, we talked about it on the school board episode we did where,
Talk to them more.
we found out that they're making, close to $200,000 a year to sit in, and just bullshit, basically. I mean, basically that's what they're doing, right?
And
Yes.
I mean,
And
for
it's like
sure.
not only that, half these problems that we're paying them $200,000 a year to fix, one, they don't fix, and two, can be fixed outside of their little fucking chambers. You know what I mean? You leave it up to the teachers and the parents, and it's fixed in a day.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I feel like there's like a few different things stopping people from going towards these like decentralized school options. Like one is what we just talked about, where the government just kind of sets it up so that it's very difficult to do that. And then also it's just they make it very convenient, right? By, you just pay your property taxes and then it just gets taken care of for you. And people just get dependent on that. And then also, just kind of like tradition, people get used to the fact that, you play sports through the school.
Yeah.
You cheer for your school and like, so people don't want to go away from that. They're like, how are we going to play football?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, we can make football teams. It's not hard, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking when you guys were bringing this up. It's like, this takes a whole nother level of pioneering something, because now you have to
it's a whole culture that's got to be rebuilt.
Exactly. You're doing something completely different, and everybody is much more comfortable with just changing the existing thing,
right?
And trying to make it better instead of looking at it and being like, no, this whole thing's messed up. We have to pioneer a whole system.
Which is interesting because I feel like the public education is at a point where it would need a complete overhaul to be something that's at
I totally agree with that.
At bare minimum considered acceptable. So
yeah.
I'm not really sure why people are so against the idea of just throwing out, the shit and restarting.
Yeah. And
rather than trying to fix, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are all things that have been in place for, maybe 100 years, and people are just so used to it now that they've forgotten that, there was a time when Americans did this stuff on their own. And parents took responsibility for their kids' education as they should.
And I think that's what it comes down to a lot of the times is people just don't want to be responsible for that many things, I mean, that's not true for everybody, obviously. We're seeing that now with this Moms for Liberty. Just out of curiosity, I looked up. They have 56,000 members. And they only started in October 21.
Damn, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 142 chapters in 35 states.
White women,
That's
dude.
impressive. White women, white QAnon women with nothing to do.
I was about to say, suck that, Antifa. No.
Yeah. How many Antifa got?
But
they could potentially be way more dangerous, too.
I mean,
white QAnon moms, of course.
Before I have my ending, a little point on this, do you guys think there's any feds in that group? I think there is for sure.
Definitely. I mean, look at the ATF. There's a lot of middle-aged white women in the ATF. It's actually pretty funny how many there are.
It's like to be part of the Moms for Liberty, they have to hey, can you just watch my dog for a couple days and just see if it gets killed?
Oh man, I bet the ADL description of Antifa is going to be very I bet, yeah. I was going to be sarcastic and say I bet they're going to really go after them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to find a membership count, but I don't.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree completely with what you guys said, and it's like you guys mentioned, it's weird. It's not completely weird because obviously, as Chris brought up, people are so used to this now where I pay my property taxes, I pay my general taxes, I have a government school I can bring my kid to. It's relatively easy to get into based on where I live. Obviously, a lot of people have issues about zoning, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's something that's implanted in people's minds now for decades.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get away from that. And even with these Moms for Liberty, like we've mentioned, they're not really trying to change anything. They're just trying to modify the system itself. It's like being held captive. And instead of trying to get out of it, you're just like, hey, can you just give me an extra protein bar for the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
that's such a good point.
People's interaction with the government is really just reminiscent of Stockholm Fever.
And the government loves this because they're like,
yeah,
we'll argue with you all day.
That is what it is, because if you can pull yourself away from it and look at it, from the outside looking in, through an objective lens, it's really not that crazy. These anarchist and libertarian ideas, I feel like they're less radical than what we have in place now. But because what we have in place now has been in place for so long, like Chris just said, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. It's like, it sucks. You know that, it's
not working.
It's not working, but you're still like you're comfortable with it just because it is what it is.
And they have you so convinced that it's like the best way to do it, or if not the only way to do it.
Right.
Even though, all the evidence points otherwise. Just look at a graph of school funding versus test scores over the past 3 or 4 decades. It's pretty freaking ridiculous. I wish we had a video once again so people could actually see this. But,
it's
but literally
just
Google.
so much more involved. Maybe I'll do it over.
The Cato Institute did a good study on it, and it was the funding is basically just like a half pipe or a quarter pipe.
Right,
and
it's like completely inverse of each other.
The school funding is just a steady, or the test scores is just a steady decline.
And that's always what they push for, right? Oh, well, we need more funding. And nothing ever changes. And it's
well, yeah, and they always use the more funding argument as the argument for why their scores suck.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of like what we brought up with the whole masking thing. It's like they say, oh, we need to do this because of this. We need to implement a mask because there's an increase in positive cases.
Right.
You increase it, and now it doesn't matter what happens, right? If the cases drop, they say, oh, it's because we got more funding.
Yeah.
And if they increase, they say
we didn't have enough funding.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same exact kind of
images.
And it's yeah.
Yeah, right there, top left 2 graphics.
Oh, this is school funding in the blue. Okay,
the Cato Institute,
and they've plateaued since 19. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Science has actually dropped.
So that's
it's in 80 something, but
yeah. No, it's
is there a more current one? 2012.
It certainly doesn't follow the trend of the more money, more funding.
No.
More money, more problems.
More money, more problems.
More money, more inflation.
Total costs has gone skyrocketed. Total employees skyrocketed.
Which one is? Oh, this is employees. Okay.
Yeah. And then all the scores are just either going down or
it's
now I'm playing
within
I'm playing devil's advocate here, but is this maybe a could you draw a correlation between enrollment, they need more
population
funding?
increase?
Yeah, because
but look at they actually have an enrollment graph on there too.
Oh! See, I saw that. Oh, yeah. So
it decreased and then it went back up.
So wait, which one is this here?
That's just total cost. I'm not sure why they dotted it at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. Huh.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Dollars per pupil. Oh, so this is per pupil.
Right.
Oh, so that would correct for it. Wow. Yeah, and it's still literally skyrocketing.
Explain what you're looking at.
So yeah, it's basically just a graph where you have the total cost per pupil is literally just skyrocketing as the years go on, and the scores have stayed stagnant. So yeah, there's a percent change basically on the y-axis and the year on the x-axis. The percent change in scores is basically flatlined. It drops and then it goes like -2%, -1%, -2%. It just kind of bounces between those two. And then the dollar per pupil has just gone up from this is going back to 1970. So from 1970 to 2012, it's gone up to about 200%. So
in New York State, I'm pretty sure is one of the highest states for per pupil spending, and it's over 20,000. Which, if someone had that money in their pocket to spend on their kid for education, they could get them a pretty decent education.
Oh, for sure.
For K through 12. And, look at St. Ed's here. St. Ed's is it's below 30,000 for, the younger kids. And I think in high school it jumps up to, around 30,000. So, a New York State budget for each kid. Some of these inner city kids were getting absolute shit education.
Right.
If you had that in your pocket, you could actually go out and get a pretty good education from a good private school.
That's it.
Yeah, and I feel like this, these correlations we're making can be used for so many different things in the country. Policing, for example.
Pretty sure everything the government has dibbly hands in.
And it's not even that they have their hands in it; they have a monopoly on it.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction.
Exactly. That's the
That's
why they're able to get away with it.
Yep.
Because as we said, they make it difficult to not go through their system.
Yeah.
And basically impossible to not go through their system.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who do go to like private school, they're still paying for the public school.
Yeah, which is insane.
So, you have to be very rich to be able to afford to go to private school because you're still paying for the public school.
You're paying for
but
two
if
schools.
you weren't, then, maybe you could afford it. Or at least more people could afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Frickin' schools, man.
Yep.
Especially government schools.
And if you also, just because I know this is probably going to be an argument, is like if you want to talk about inner city kids and like how, they're paying, a lot of them are like renting places and stuff. Like most people in the inner city don't really own a house or anything. Well, you're still paying for the property taxes that the landlord's paying through an increase in your rent.
Right.
Like they're not just taking that on the head. They're passing that on to the renters.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you're still paying for the property taxes secondhand.
Yep.
Was that Seiki that said it's completely unreasonable to think that renters would increase their wages because of inflation?
Yeah.
They say the dumbest stuff.
This is the press secretary.
Yeah.
And
She's a propagandist is really all she is.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have to
pretty
be
much
for that job.
all the press secretaries are. This was the Cato Institute.
Yeah, here
one
you
I
go.
was
That's a good
talking
one.
about.
Total cost is the full amount spent on the K through 12 education of a student graduating in the given year, adjusted for inflation. Oh wow! So this is even adjusted too. Jesus. So in 1970, it was about 57,000. In 2011, it was 166,000. So almost 3 times the number.
Okay, yeah. So from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade.
That's how much it cost them.
Yeah, 57,000 in
Per
1970, 166,000 in 2011. So this study is about 10 years old. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's probably more now.
And we've seen no change in scores.
None. They even stopped recording science scores. It looks like.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, we're just gonna give up on this."
Like the COVID's coming up soon.
The
so.
graph ends in like 1995. We're like, all right, we're done with science.
Damn.
We're just gonna follow the science from now on.
Just follow Fauci.
Is that
when Fauci got in office?
We're gonna teach science. We're just gonna follow the science.
What if we found out that's like when Fauci became part of the NIH? He's
Yeah.
like, stop the science testing. I got a plan for you guys.
Oh shit,
First comes AIDS, then comes COVID.
that's true.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm glad we didn't skip over the Moms for Liberty.
Yeah,
topic,
so am I.
'cause that
was a good
gave us
topic.
a pretty good conversation.
That was just so fun, wasn't it?
It was
That
so
was
fun.
so much
so
fun. It's just so fun talking with you guys.
I like
you
when
know?
Chris said that thing.
It'd be actually interesting to get one of the local Moms for Liberty people on.
Yeah,
That'd be actually kind of fun.
and just bring up like crazy QAnon theories.
Yeah.
So
like,
what do you think?
we talk about like normal stuff, like talk to more, all these things, mass.
Just test her a little bit.
And then just drop a bomb.
How's Q doing?
Have you heard from
is
Q?
Q?
Have you heard from Q?
But I don't know what you guys want to talk about next. But DeSantis immigration kind of was
Yeah, let's do that one next.
pretty interesting one. I feel like.
Yeah, we'll just read the headline here.
So before we read it real fast,
No.
just give you a little. So the beginning of this article goes into a Jacksonville thing that's been going on with like people flying into Jacksonville.
Should we just play this video?
Yeah,
Ron
if they can hear it,
speech.
Yeah, I gotta... Oh, I'll do this. Do it like this.
if it's not too long.
Did you guys watch it?
I watched it.
Is it long?
No.
It's not long?
Yeah. So while Nick's bringing that up, just to give you a
Let
little,
everybody hear Daddy D's voice for a little bit.
little voice of reason, I guess.
I normally get stiff when he talks, but...
But yeah, the background. I know a lot of this was talking about Jacksonville. Apparently, these flights were being chartered in from private people, and supposedly they have illegal immigrants on them.
Yeah.
And at one point in July, one flight was like held on the tarmac for like 10 hours with kids and people in it. I don't know. That part of the
On the background.
the article was very weird.
On those controversial late-night flights
But,
into Jacksonville that brought migrants here to our area. The News 4 Jackson
not illegal,
team has been
apparently.
investigating these flights for months. Governor DeSantis came to Jacksonville today to propose legislation that he says will help secure our borders.
News for Jackson reporter Jim Piggott spoke with the governor and others about what happened at the airport this summer. He's joining us live now. Jim, what changes do the critics of these flights say?
You got to find Jim's eye. He's got a weird eye.
Jim's got a weird eye?
Well, DeSantis is basically saying he wants to crack down on those who operate the flights, not allow them to operate here in Florida if they are caught doing that. But I'll tell you, those flights are no longer occurring here in Jacksonville, at least for now. But the uproar continues. Governor DeSantis arrived by plane to Jacksonville's airport, accompanied by a host of Republicans. DeSantis pointed out his plans to address concerns about migrants making their way to Florida by air and bus, and concerns that the president's administration isn't taking it seriously. Governor DeSantis is offering new state legislation that will help police and state officials get a better handle on those coming into our country and the state illegally.
We're going to be proposing a series of legislative reforms that will help strengthen Florida's hand in fighting back against the Biden border crisis and what we've seen happening for almost the last year.
Some highlights of the governor's proposal include cracking down on businesses and people who provide these flights and verifying immigration status of those brought into Florida. The News for Jack's I team has been looking into the flights for the last 6 months that have been arriving during the late hours of the night. Today, the head of the Jacksonville Aviation Authority talked about one of those flights that alerted them to the problem at the airport.
We first learned of these flights in June this year when an aircraft was parked in the middle of the night on a remote cargo apron. Our operations department had learned that the flight crew had already left for hotels that night, leaving the plane full of children with chaperones locked on board for 10 hours.
News for Jax has reached out to that charter company for a response. So far, no word. The flights have been a rallying cry for DeSantis, and he also points to a murder in Arlington that police say was committed by a man from Honduras who was on one of those.
Well, I don't think we have to finish it.
No, we don't.
So
that was some news for Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Okay.
News
Jim
for Jack.
Paget?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But
PJ?
Peugeot? I don't know. You guys just listen to that. It's pretty much verbatim to what the article says. So I'm assuming they just transcribed it. But I don't understand really what they're doing. It's because they say migrants and then they say illegals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they don't know.
Right.
It's almost like half these people might be illegals, half these just might be people came here legally.
Well, that's probably the problem, right?
Well, I mean, I guess
they don't know
in their mind.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm not speaking in. I'm speaking.
Are you saying we? Are you saying we?
No, I didn't say we.
I'm just joking.
Motherfucker.
No, but
they don't know.
I'm thinking like the Jacksonville security at that airport like must be like garbage, right? Like, how do you just like let people just show up and?
Well, that's also the thing is like it doesn't sound like there was an issue. It just sounded like there was an issue once they found out. Like I would assume everything was happening like it would.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wait a second. There's Mexicans on those planes coming in?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, whoa. Let's take a look at this real fast. No, all jokes aside, I don't know. For me personally, I come from a standpoint when it comes to immigration, it is just way too fucking hard to become a U.S. citizen in this state or in this country.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't think...
Make it harder.
It's like...
Double student loan debt.
I think you should do like
triple world hunger.
Like a ninja warrior.
I was going to say, like, in the rivers to get through Texas, it's just a ninja warrior course.
Just drop a few hippos in there and just be like, good luck. Good luck.
You should have to fight your way through the Coliseum.
And just live stream it.
Like a Roman Coliseum.
Yeah.
I think we went into this into like our opinions on immigration pretty in depth on one of the previous episodes. And I think I kind of thought back to it after we finished because I think by the time we were done, we were kind of over it. And I think Cam was like, so we think, I can't remember what you said. It was like, so basically get rid of the welfare state and then we're cool with open borders. And we were all just like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, whatever. But I guess my real answer to that would have been, get rid of the welfare state and then each individual person has a say as to whether, people are allowed on their property or not.
Well, I think that's what we ultimately said, right?
Yeah.
Like your border should actually be your personal property, and whether you want somebody on your property or not, that's completely on you, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I guess if I'm thinking from a place of being held hostage and me not trying to get out, but just trying to negotiate for the extra protein bar for the day, is this obviously our immigration, if you want to call it a crisis, or the immigration problem, making it so it's literally impossible to become a U.S. citizen isn't working, because we still get illegal immigrants in here.
Right.
By the tens of thousands, if not more, 100,000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the Border Patrol agent with his lasso wasn't working.
He stopped
out.
the Haitians, but
yeah,
those fucking Ecuadorian people get here pretty well.
Yeah.
No, but it's obviously not working. So it's like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Just make it easier. I'm not saying we should open border totally, because that's ridiculous.
Right.
But, why does somebody, again, I think I even said this last time, why does somebody have to take a test on the, 52 presidents or whatever, and, recite what Thomas Jefferson ate for breakfast on his last day to become a citizen?
Yeah.
It's like, like most Americans can't even tell you that. Just because we're born here means we're like more special.
Eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
So, I would, if I had to put like a theme on tonight so far, it would be, how do you roll back the government? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you roll it back?
I feel like that's the theme of the entire show, Cam.
Well,
where you been, bud?
No, I'm just saying, like,
we're a Liberty podcast.
Oh, Jesus. No, it is the theme. You're right. But I'm just saying, like, so far tonight, like, these particular situations are policy situation, immigration, schools, topics. You're looking at them and you're like, wow, why can't people see beyond like what they know? And like you almost have to like roll back people's thinking in that sense and be like, hey, why don't you like think beyond what you know and like really take a deep gander into something completely different. And I like what Chris said earlier, which I thought was like profound. It's like it's really it's not too far removed that like we were like did have like that freedom and also like were willing to take on that responsibility. Because like with that freedom, like actual freedom, comes like more responsibility. Because if the schools, if the government's not like, they don't have like a thing in place where your kid just like gets babysitted and somewhat taught, then it's up to you to figure out how that's going to get done.
Yep. Yeah, now that's another thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, it's something else you got to figure out.
Like who's going to build the roads?
Age-old question.
Age-old question.
Hopefully not Tim Rose.
But,
hopefully not whoever builds my roads out here.
Which I think is your people on the road itself. The way it looks.
It's bad.
Yeah, I think one of the like greatest examples of that, like just things that people have forgotten, like that we used to be free at one point, is the income tax. It literally was like a temporary measure during wartime, and and it was of like fractions of what it is now, and now it's turned into people are paying almost half of their salary to the government, and they're perfectly happy to do it.
Yeah. Who was that said that? Milton Friedman. Nothing is more permanent than a temporary government policy.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Government program.
Yeah.
Was that Wilson that implemented the?
Yeah, it was either World War I or World War II. I can't remember. But it was during one of the major wars. It was like a temporary measure to raise money for the war.
And look at that, 80 years later.
Whew, still in war, I guess, huh?
It's just temporary.
Still in war, yeah. I guess if it eventually does end, it's considered temporary. But
so like, hey, what is temporary really? What is time?
Yeah.
It's a
they
construct,
say everything
bro.
is temporary, so
it's a construct. Doesn't mean anything, bro.
What is gonorrhea really? But
it's a construct, bro.
It's just like talking immigration a little bit more. For me, DeSantis bringing this up is just ridiculous. I feel like it's a waste of time, just in general. But it's funny now that we have a Democratic leader again in the White House, and for the past 4 years we heard how, the left wanted at least more open borders, if not complete open borders, depending on how far left you go. And they're like, yes, we're going to get rid of Trump, and people will stop being in cages, and the border will be nice, and we'll get more people in here because we love immigrants, which I do. But nothing's changed.
It only got worse, if anything.
Exactly. Well, yeah, more people are coming through, which
because they had false hope that Biden was going to let them in.
So it's just funny that, like, we all know here at this table, and I'm sure most people listening, that when it comes to government, left, right, whatever, they're the same people. They differ on maybe 1-2% of things.
Same people, they just wear a different colored tie.
Yeah. But the same fake skin.
Yep. Lizard people.
Same lizard
reptiles. I think this was like the perfect time for like because so many people are paying attention now that I think this was like the perfect time to get somebody like Biden in for people to be like, okay, this is all just theater. This is all bullshit. Like none of this actually means anything.
The deep state is real. What? Oh,
that's not exactly where I was going, but yeah,
it is
same difference, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so two-party system.
Speaking of the deep state, I guess, huh?
Is really just a
juicy smoothie. Oh,
juicy smoothie,
two-headed dragon.
Man, that was. I guess we can jump right into juicy smoothie. Huh?
Yeah, juicy smoothie. I think.
Yeah, tell us about
that.
Juicy
Was just.
Smoothie.
I mean, everybody just go look back at Rachel Maddow's comments that day whenever that story came out, Joe Biden's comments, Kamala Harris's comments, basically everyone on CNN, probably Chris Cuomo. I haven't seen specifically his anything that he said, but I'm sure he had some dimes. But I did see both of Biden and Kamala Harris's tweets like from the time when that happened, and it was just like embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely embarrassing. Like,
it wasn't even a good story.
No, it wasn't. It was totally obviously fabricated from the start.
Yeah.
It's like, really, like you're walking down the street in Chicago in the middle of January and two random Trump guys happen to be walking around with a noose and what else?
Bleach, I think.
Bleach, yeah. And
that's a typical shopping list.
This is.
I mean, I always carry those two things in my pants. You know,
in the city of Chicago, they say this is MAGA country.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I like Dave Chappelle had a funny skit about this. He's like, man, even people from the hood, he's like, they don't realize it, but we supported him by shutting the fuck up. He's like, we knew from day one, like, what the fuck? Like, his skit's so funny about it.
And that's where the whole thing, Jessie Smollett, came from. He's like, that's a French guy. Yeah, we'll claim him.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
And, while we bring up the fact, we'll get to the verdict here in a second, but, all these people, we can see their tweets, from whatever it was, 3-4 years ago. Maybe it wasn't that long, but,
and I think that's the crazy part. I think it has been about that long, hasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
But like how those have aged, right? And okay, if you're playing devil's advocate,
it's 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost 2 years.
So maybe like if you're Kamala Harris or you're somebody within the Hollywood sphere, and you're so busy trying not to shoot people on set like Alec Baldwin does all the time, and you're like, oh, I heard the Juicy Smoothie got a hate crime committed on him. That's terrible. I'm going to write this thing on Twitter so I can get woke points and people can praise me. And it's like, all right, that happens, right? Sure. We all make mistakes. Maybe you didn't listen, hear the whole thing and you were, but it's like these same people just always jump on these things so fast.
Yeah.
And that's okay. If this really did happen, it'd be fucking terrible, right? Like if someone really poured bleach on Juicy Smoothie and tried to put a twine noose around his neck and beat him up. Like that's fucking terrible.
I'm just laughing about how extravagant he made those. Why couldn't he just have gotten jumped? And he's been like, I got jumped by these fucking guys that were.
Yeah. He's an actor, dude.
Yeah.
Like he added all this shit and he just ultimately made it less believable.
These are why most of the movies suck these days.
Was the bleach implying that they were trying to turn him white?
Yeah, I still don't get what the bleach was.
Yeah, I don't either.
They didn't have any tar and feathers.
They were,
remember dirty. Also there was that fake incident with the NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
They all Bubba
happened right this.
Bubba Wallace?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like literally just a handle that you pull the garage down with.
And then the FBI was involved. Like, what the fuck?
That's how insane it's got.
They found that out pretty fast. Not the Vegas shooter, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they got to the bottom of that one pretty quick.
But no, all I'm saying is, like, okay, these things happen, right? You not make mistakes, but you believe things that aren't true. I'm not saying you have to come out and be like, hey, I was wrong about this. But it just looks really bad when you're at the same time just calling all this other shit people terrible things because, you know, they lied or, like, they're not with you on the same side politically. But if you're on the same side politically, they'll fucking believe your fake story about getting a hate crime done. Mm-hmm. And you'll get support from them. I don't know. It's just crazy.
I think what you said is right, and it makes me think of...
well, I'm not Nick, so I could be wrong.
No, it makes me think of, like, I watched Rogan and Matt Taibbi or whatever, and they were talking about journalism today. And, like, there's a need to be, like, the first one to post something, you know, and be like, oh, you know, this is a terrible incident with Juicy Smoothie, and he's been attacked, and blah, 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 and Kamala Harris comes out and says this thing, gets, like you say, gets her woke points.
As she wipes the cum off her mouth.
Yeah, and then it comes to pass that it actually didn't happen, but there's no need really for an apology. It's just, like, accepted as, like, well, you know, I mean, if it did happen, good thing she believed, like, you know what I'm saying? There's no, like for us, we look at that and, like, that's preposterous.
Yeah.
Like, why does that happen?
No accountability.
Yeah, but, like, if it's in your base, it's like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no biggie.
And that goes for that's
both sides,
right?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's both sides for sure. But it's just the fact that, like, there is no accountability there. And
I will say the leftist journalists are worse about not only not addressing it when it comes out to be you know, not the case.
They also can't meme.
Well, they can't. Yeah, they can't meme. But sure. Not only do they like completely ignore the fact that they got it wrong, they'll take it a step further and then try to kind of you know, re-aim the spear, if you will. Like, I'm reading this article right now, and despite what this guy did, like, you know, keep in mind when this all happened, there was obviously a lot of tension over racial kind of themes.
Still.
Which makes it worse.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at, is, like, the time, like, the way that he did, like, when he did this, he was doing nothing more than trying to fan the flames of, like, an already raging fire.
Yeah.
And now the media, instead of just, like, you know, and like Bookie said earlier, it's not that anybody expects them to come out and say, oh, yeah, we got this wrong, you know, we're retracting some comments, whatever. They'll do the complete opposite, and they'll, like this article right here from MSNBC. The only winners found as the dust settles are the members of the right, who have declared themselves America's real victims of hate and discrimination. People who have strategically made the Smollett case their go-to example for how the left operates and how it wrongly makes villains out of Donald Trump supporters. Which, I mean, it's...
yeah.
Is that not fucking true?
It's funny because, you know, they jumped all over this. Like, they wanted it to be true. They loved it. This was just a perfect story.
Weirdly enough, right?
I mean... we see all this stuff that's happening now with all these stores getting ransacked over in California for the most part, and you know they won't bring up race in that case, will they? And it's in my opinion, it's a result of what the media has been doing over the past couple of years and just kind of riling up the racial tensions and making people believe that they're entitled to stuff that they haven't earned because they're a certain race, and then it just, you know, attracts the lowest common denominators out of the black community. You know, and I know people are going to take that out of context and think I'm saying that black people are the lowest common denominators, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it takes the people who are the lowest common denominators out of that group and entices them to do these types of things where they're ransacking these stores with no consequences and just stealing all this shit, and then they feel like they're entitled to do it because, you know, their ancestors were slaves or something.
Yeah,
it's interesting because they'll blame, like, Donald Trump or whatever on, like, the racial tension in today's world or whatever, or they'll blame some type of conservative, whatever. I mean, and I'm not saying that they're not to blame at some level, but it's interesting because I look at it as like, yeah, that's part of it, but it's also things like The View and things like that where all those people do every single day is spread hate and you know division and stuff, and it's like no, everybody's doing it. All the media is doing that. You know, and it's not one side; it's both sides.
Yeah,
The View is interesting. It's just a bunch of like washed up cum rags on a TV show.
Yeah, it's not good.
Giving unsolicited opinions.
My favorite clip is that Norm Macdonald on The View, where he just keeps saying Bill Clinton was a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh, you should pull that up if you can find it.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it's probably pretty easy to find.
Norm Macdonald was like, I feel like he invented trolling. If not, he did it the best, dude. That guy was a legend.
They asked him after. He's like, "Nah, I don't believe that. I just knew it would get a reaction out of them."
How awesome is that? And that what a great bunch of like women to just get riled up.
Yeah.
Because like they're already riled up. Like whatever they do to get like in that position and get that angry before the show, I don't know. You know,
I think it's that second video,
but it's something, dude.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Fantastic, controversial, hilarious. The words smooth.
You guys keep talking. I'll figure out.
So I don't think we even mentioned the verdict of this case that came out. Really, I'm sure everybody knows, but just in case.
Oh yeah, he was convicted on 5 of the 6 counts
of whatever it was. So obviously, people have come to the conclusion in a legal area that.
And they were all felony charges, right?
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all felony charges.
Man, he can't own a gun anymore. That sucks.
I know. That sucks. He can't even protect himself from these crazy deranged
He can't protect himself from himself.
Yeah. All those memes came out where it's like, I'm glad justice was served and the person who committed these attacks has a...
Here we go.
A fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers? Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice. Okay. Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen, we don't need to talk about
this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question.
Yeah, dance, clown, dance.
He is being funny. She doesn't even notice it.
Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm not going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Okay.
Let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right. Let's talk football.
It's nice to see that.
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Did you ever hear the word?
The phone is ringing.
I certainly hope that's somebody calling to tell you to go home.
Oh, no.
Dude, you got a phone ringing.
Oh, it's his phone?
Yeah. It's his agent calling, I think.
Answer the phone.
Hello? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The thing is this. You know Matt Strauss?
Yeah, the producer.
The producer. He told me it would be funny. He said, like, why don't you carry a cell phone on and then let it ring and then pretend like there's a guy on it?
Is there anybody on it?
No, it's a thing. Pretend.
You know what, Norm? You're a dead man.
Here, you talk to him, man.
You know what, Barbara? You know what you said about rage and work?
Give this man a plate of soup and tell him to shut up.
Norm, all right.
Does he keep going about the Bill Clinton stuff, or?
Norm.
What?
Okay, listen, Norm.
I think
Norm,
it's so
listen.
funny.
Not only have you annoyed us, but I've read that you have actually annoyed one of your idols. Who is that?
Oh, the great Bill Cosby.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Oh, my God, I love that guy. He's my hero, you know, just like you. Maybe George or Bill Clinton would be your hero.
There's no stopping you, is there?
No, you seem to like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, this man leads into our show on Friday night.
I know.
It's all right. His career's over after this anyway. Who cares?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
joke.
Norm.
No, Bill Clinton, who's a great man, obviously. But, you know, everybody has their opinions, right?
Are you moving along?
No,
You're
Bill
gonna get to the
Cosby.
point.
He just drinks his coffee after he says
What is
that.
that coffee? What are you drinking in there?
Now, Bill Cosby is a great man, first of all. There has never been any accusations towards Bill Cosby about any...
Will you just tell us what you did about Bill Cosby?
Oh, I met him. I opened for him at a club, and he was a great man, you know. He's my hero of all time. You know how funny Bill Cosby is.
Yeah, so get to the point. I'm going past menopause.
Oh, man.
Make the point. Let's go.
Not everything has a point.
We are learning that.
All right, there's enough.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like Norm's stick, is he just goes on and on about some shit that like has no end to it, and then like people get really frustrated about his fucking story.
It is crazy to see them how like much they panicked when he brought up Bill Clinton killing a person.
Oh my god!
You seem to like Bill Clinton,
like rats when the lights turn on, you know, just like scurrying all over the place.
Fucking, they're like, "Hey, we'll be Epstein next." Jesus Christ!
R.I.P. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, that guy was he was a character, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad we watched that.
I've been seeing some like clips of him from his podcast that he had going that I didn't really know about at the time, and like, oh my god, some of that stuff is unreal.
Really?
Definitely worth like looking some of that stuff up and listening to it on your own. Because
here's an interesting quote from this article about the Juicy Smollett. I didn't realize this at the time, but I guess Harris used this incident, before, years ago, or a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, before it was found that this was all bullshit. That she used this as a push to pass, as MSNBC puts it, historic legislation expanding federal penalties for hate crimes. And I feel like that's something interesting that we could probably talk about as hate crimes, because I think they're retarded, because like, why it's a form of thought crime, right?
Right. It doesn't matter why you did something. Like if you punch someone in the face, it doesn't make a difference if you did it because they're black or you did it because they're white, or if you just did it because you felt like it.
Right. Why are you?
The crime is the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's almost because they're prosecuted more heavily, right? At least that's what.
Yeah. And most times, I'm pretty sure all times, a hate crime has a heavier penalty.
So it'd be in a sense to be like, this is so bad, you're committing this crime out of hate, that we are going to penalize you much harsher. Thus, either one, and one way of thinking of this is, we do this because you did this out of hate, which is terrible, so you have to be prosecuted at a higher level. Or two, we don't want people to do hate crimes, so we're going to prosecute at a higher level to stop people hating.
Right, and it's
either one is just weird.
Yeah, and the thing is too is you really only see them prosecuted one way, right? It's only when it's a majority person doing it against a minority person.
Towards Asians when they can't get to Harvard.
If a minority were to do it against a majority person, then it would be not, like, it's almost never considered a hate crime.
Well, yeah, because then it kind of,
because the fallback is always like, that there's some ulterior motive for, the hate crime.
Right.
Like when a minority attacks, like for instance, let's say a black person attacked a white person for being white. It's like,
it's because they're disadvantaged.
Right. They get a pass because they're disadvantaged, and their community had to. Had to overcome something that a white community didn't have to, or some stupid.
Yeah. Well, then again, I think reasoning. I would agree with what you guys say about hate crimes. If to take it to the, in my opinion, the most extreme, right? Taking a life. Mm-hmm. And then you could even plump in like a rape into that as well, to an extent. It's, if you kill someone because they're Asian, how is that worse than just killing them?
Yeah, you still killed the person. Yeah,
it's not like you killed someone because they're not Asian, but they have to be Asian. It's like, oh, okay, woof. At least they didn't kill because they're Asian. That would be fucking terrible.
It's almost worse to just randomly kill someone.
Yeah. At least have a point, right?
Yeah.
No, and imagine being that family that had the life of, somebody that you love taken, and then, like, they get a lesser sentence than somebody who did it because they hated the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got. I feel that's got to be like a slap in the face. I feel like
it just doesn't make sense. It's yeah, like if you kill someone, why would the penalty be more harsh because you hated them?
And it
shouldn't just be harsh because you took someone's life.
Yeah, and it's like hate isn't necessarily based in like these fucking labels that they prescribe to everybody. Like you can hate someone for a lot of different reasons, but it's never, it's never prosecuted in a way that doesn't have to do with race
that illustrates that, right? It's
religion or whatever.
Yeah, it always comes down to some like political hot topic, right? What the air quotes hate is derived in.
Yep. Yeah, and then you can expand it to religion too. Like in this country, if someone were to commit a crime against someone because they're Muslim, then that's going to be prosecuted as a hate crime. But if someone commits a crime against a Christian, it's probably not going to get, like, we all know that's true.
It's not even going to be considered.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you were just saying how, they don't consider all these other forms of hate. Like, for instance, if someone has sex with your girlfriend, like, and you go out and kill him.
Yeah.
That's probably very, very rarely ever considered a hate crime.
That's like a crime of passion, but there's no added penalty for that.
Right, which I think is also stupid, right? A crime of passion? Like, what the fuck is that even mean?
If anything, it just describes, why you did it, I guess.
Yeah, it
makes it like a more, like, oh, well, he did it because out of passion.
Yeah, and that's how it should be in the case of hate crimes, too. Like,
he loved her so much that he killed her, cut off her head, and then fucked her head.
And then left her in a Walmart.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, that guy really cared. Very passionate.
It should be the same for hate crime. Like, it just describes why you did it, and it's not. It shouldn't have any bearing on what your sentence is.
Yeah,
like you committed this horrible act, regardless.
And maybe playing devil's advocate again, just for a second, it's maybe comes from a root where they meant well, where racism was a lot more rampant, and it's like, all right, maybe we should fucking tell these racists to calm the fuck down. Like, you can't just be doing this shit and you're going to get more of a penalty.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's one of these things where, how we learned in civics class, where, like, the government uses, like, enhanced penalties to try and influence how people act.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to eliminate racism or whatever by making it more of a harsh penalty for doing it because of a racial, because you hate a particular racial group or something like that. But really, as we all know, it doesn't stop people from acting a certain way. It just makes them do it out of the public eye.
Yeah. And you were right. I just looked it up just out of curiosity. The Department of Justice enforces federal hate crime laws that cover certain crimes committed on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disabilities. The Department of Justice began prosecuting federal hate crime cases after the enactment of the Civil Rights Act of 1968. So yeah, more than likely it was implemented as a way to kind of de-incentivize, not de-incentivize, but...
Well, no, I think that's actually correct.
Yeah, well, it was a way for...
And it's sad to say, but it's what they're trying to do. They're trying to de-incentivize it, but it's one of those things where, maybe because we're in 2021 now, we all know, none of us here are racist. I hope. No. But it's one of those things where, unfortunately, you can't... What am I trying to say? You can't... It's like, I don't know. Like, if you're trying to teach someone something, almost to go back to what Chris was just saying real fast, beating your dog is not a very good way of training it to sit down. Mm-hmm. It's a good way to fear you and maybe not do what you don't want it to do when you're around.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, and again, I'm not saying, racists should be given treats and to sit down, but, I don't know. It's one of those things, unfortunately, it had to be learned through time, right? It had, I would assume, and I could probably say pretty effectively that through every decade and every generation, racism has dropped significantly.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I'd argue the last 4 years it's kind of gotten worse.
Yeah, I think it's gotten worse, and I think it's because of, like we've been talking about, the media has been inflaming all this shit. And, like, our generation...
I think Obama did a really good job of kind of bringing it back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, our generation was, like, the least racist generation in American history, I think. Like, growing up, like, we were I feel like, at school and stuff, like it was just...
It was not even a thing.
It was good. It was like we honestly didn't even see... it was the old trope, which now is not even allowed. Like if you say it, you're a racist, is saying that you're colorblind, right? Like you don't see people by their race, you just judge them by how they are, by their character.
Yeah, that's interesting how that's completely reversed.
Now that's you can't even, if you say that, you're like a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, now they say systemically...
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, because I feel like the country was kind of at a point where race wasn't even really an issue anymore. And now it's all of a sudden making a comeback.
And I think it's more of a social media comeback almost, really.
Hey, the true comeback story, am I right?
Because I would...
Racism.
And again, who knows if this is plotted or we have data on this, but I would almost say... It's probably increased, in a sense of there's more news about it, and we highlight these fringe cases that happen, happened in Georgia, right? Just happened with the Aubrey case.
Ahmaud Arbery.
I mean, those guys might say they're not racist, but they don't really have a lot of good evidence on their side for that.
Yeah.
And we see the media bring those fringe cases more to light, thus bringing up the discussion. And maybe people who say, hey, I'm not racist, but then you get called racist. So then it just, I don't know. I would say it probably has increased in a sense, but not significantly.
Yeah.
I don't go into a store and the guy, once someone leaves is like, God damn, God, that fucking chink left, huh?
Yeah.
So thankfully that does not happen.
And I think, over the past, yeah, I don't know.
He's gonna buy.
I'm right there. You're looking at me like what? And I'm not. I'm confused.
He's gonna buy all the Game Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a slur for Asian people.
All the Game Boys.
It's like, I got him headlined here.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, and this is something I always bring up just in discussion. It's when you call somebody a racist, and this goes for, this is true for anything. They called Trump Hitler, literally Hitler for the last, 4 years. And when you do that, you just cheapen the word, right? So now... racist, that word, doesn't hold the same weight it once did. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's they've effectively reinvented the word now. So it's what even is considered racism at this point?
Oh, another good analogy would be boy cry wolf, right? You say it so many times, it kind of
exactly
loses the power,
thing.
Yep. It's is it really though?
It's
is that really
and then
racist?
whenever, something... where racists actually are racist doing,
now you call them a racist, they're like, oh, that doesn't mean anything, though.
Yeah, and the Ahmaud Arbery case is a perfect example because, most conservatives to this day will defend those guys. And, a ton of conservatives that I know say, whenever the Georgia ruled that, they were guilty, they were like, oh, Georgia just, decided to prove that they aren't racist by issuing this verdict. And it's no, they're actually right on this one. Those guys fucking chased a guy down and shot him when he was unarmed, and they had no justification for doing that. But you're just that's the thing is it pushes people in directions that they otherwise probably wouldn't have gone in if it wasn't in this type of climate where so racially charged, and you got to pick a side, and
And I'm tempted to not say this, but I feel like race shouldn't even have played a role in that case. Those guys, what they did, straight up fucking wrong, no matter who it was to.
Exactly. True. And that's the whole point we're trying to make with the hate crime thing. It's it doesn't matter who you're doing it against or why you're doing it.
It's no different.
It's the action that counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of see two sides of this, because I know, a lot of people would say, an effective way to get rid of racism is a stronger awareness of it.
To be actively anti-racist? Is that what you would say?
Yeah. No, but I think they would say to be no, but to be very aware of it and have it in the media, having talked about it a lot. But I don't want to say that I would make this argument, but there's an argument to be made that the more it's around and the more it's talked about, and the more it's on The View, and the more it's in the media, it's like, I don't know if that's an effective way to get rid of it. It's almost like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the more it's out there, the more the word's getting thrown around.
Especially when you're implying that it's only one group of people.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was just about to say. I think if you are going to go about it that way, and I think maybe there is a fair argument in approaching it that way, the way that we are doing it is not the way to do it. Yeah, I think there is a way to do it, but how we're doing it is not how we do it.
Right. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I want to bring this up, but you know, remember the car that ran over a bunch of people not too long ago?
The car,
the
by
Tesla
itself,
SUV.
Yeah, that road car.
Yeah,
that guy. You brought this up before, but he said a lot of things prior to running over a bunch of people.
Yeah,
and like that was. I mean, effectively has been completely swept under the rug.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was like, that guy may have been a little racist.
Did he say anything about white people?
Oh yeah. He explicitly said like he wants to kill white people because
on social media.
I kind of agree with him, but yeah.
But some.
I mean, fucking before the podcast, we were speaking about dirty whites.
Oh no, we were talking about Portland Lucy. That's something different.
I wasn't here for that.
Okay,
Nick was on his way.
Don't talk about white people like that.
No, yeah, it's
just kidding. I have no.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah, that's right. Nick's got the sleeveless shirt over here. Don't talk about the dirty whites.
No, but that's a good point, Cameron. The fact that we had that case where you could go to his social media, and he obviously said some things that someone could say might be racist, and then him committing a crime could be a hate crime. I don't know who he hit, what gender or
who his car hit.
Yeah, who his car hit.
And you know what's interesting? We have these terms like mass shootings and things like that. It's like this was a mass shooting, but with a car, right? He killed 7 people, 8 people.
Yeah.
How many was it? 7?
It was at least 6, but yeah.
Let's just round it up to 10.
Can you imagine if he did that with a gun? Well, he was black, so it wouldn't be in the news. But imagine if a white dude did the same thing, but with a gun, like he just walked down the street.
Yeah. At a Christmas parade.
And it's just like, it's just completely different because it was with a car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it's different, right? The car's not made to kill people.
It's wild to me.
I mean, they still talk about Charlotte to this day, and it was like one dude killed a white lady with his car. And they talk about it.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Charlottesville, right?
Charlottesville?
Yeah.
You don't hear that brought up all the time?
You know about it.
Maybe I do.
It was the one so there was
it's when those white, actual white supremacists, right? Were it's South North Carolina, Charlottesville.
See, when you say that actual white supremacists, I'm like, what does that mean? Because I'm pretty sure I'm considered that by today's standards.
They were actual.
Yeah, no, they were. These guys were like
but like, what does that mean?
Are you part of the charter?
No, I'm just. Are
you part of the Moose Lodge?
I'm playing devil's advocate. Like,
don't bring the Moose.
What does that mean?
Dude, I know the Moose Lodge is just a bunch of white supremacists.
Did you sign up? You a part now?
No, but it's a possibility. Huh?
Hope not. It's a white supremacist group.
No, it's not. Don't say that.
Dude,
you're part of the Freemasons over there.
Don't try to dissuade me.
Did you do the blood ritual thing?
I'm not a Freemason. I'm not a freaking.
Oh, I thought
I'm on Nicolas Cage's side. What are you talking about?
I don't know what that means.
No, but again, it's just the fact, and this comes back to media, which you can intertwine with social media, right? Is the fact that they put this narrative out there and they control the narrative. So if it's, a person of color doing a crime that if you swapped with a white person or a white-looking person, they would be all over it. But since it's not a white person, they either don't care or however you want to explain it. From top down, they're told not to talk about it, or they know it's not going to get as much clicks and whatever it may be. If you want to go from like a financial standpoint of it, it doesn't get talked about.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest problem.
It's gotten to the point where like every time there's a school shooting that happens, it's like everybody's like praying it's going to be a person of a certain race. Like, the people on the left are praying it's going to be a white kid. The people on the right are obviously praying it's not a white kid.
Fuck, guys, stop please shooting schools.
And then there's us that are like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why do you care who did it?
No, and then there's us who's like, arm the students.
Yeah.
Or me, I'm like, I've been to a government school. I completely understand why they shot it up.
Give the kids hand grenades.
Yeah.
See, obvious answer.
What's the downside to that?
Did you?
I can't think of one.
There's been quite a bit of recent news articles that.
Wait. With that being said, what do you guys think, like, genuinely about? I don't want to say, because I feel like it's such a poor way to argue this. Is they say arm the teachers. Well, but what do you guys think? Honest opinion about allowing teachers. Such as, I mean, you could put this into context. Like, if me and Chris were teachers, we have our concealed carries. Like, what is the argument against letting us carry our firearms to school? I know you guys probably are in favor of that, but like, what are your guys' opinions? Or maybe you're not. I don't know.
I'm not sure that I'm in favor of it, but I think the argument would be
fucking communist.
Oh wait, no, my bad. I am in favor of that.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was confused about your wording.
Got your tampon in, Cam?
No. I was confused about what you just said.
Check that asshole.
But I thought you were trying to throw me on the bus and call me a communist. But
We are, but
damn it, you guys are killing me. What am I saying? Oh, the argument would be like you're bringing guns into school, right? That would be the argument.
Right.
Like we want less guns in school, and you're suggesting that you should have a gun,
right?
Right, and you're saying, well, that would be the best way to defend.
I don't know if I necessarily think it's the best way, but it's a way, I feel like, right? I mean, it's
I think the way Nick framed it is like the best way to look at it. Like, it's like people who already would handle a firearm and have it on their person, like going to the supermarket or anything like that, but they happen to be a teacher, then they're allowed to bring it to school. It's not like
I'm not insinuating that teachers that don't want to have a gun should be forced to have a gun.
Right.
I'm not insinuating that.
I'm just
remember insinuating
when this concept first came out, a lot of Republicans were like basically saying that like teachers should have to have a weapon in their classroom. And
which is stupid.
It's like, no, I don't think Mrs. Smith, the 75-year-old social studies teacher who's never touched a gun in her life, should be forced to have a gun in her classroom. Like, no, that's stupid. But if a guy or a girl who is a teacher and happens to carry a gun, you know, normally wants to carry it at school, then I feel like that should be permissible, because I mean, if you can't trust your teachers, who the fuck can you trust, right?
Yeah. Oh no, and that's a good point that I honestly had never really thought about. I mean, we trust our kids with, you know, their teachers for 8 hours a day, but now all of a sudden and you're not even giving them, you're just allowing them the means to protect them, and now all of a sudden it's an issue. Like, oh, you know, we don't trust the teacher now all of a sudden, even though we send our kid to sit with them for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
For 5 days a week.
And sometimes they get fucked by them. But, whatever.
That's actually a pretty common theme with public education. But,
wait, hold on. I don't want to get on too much of a tangent of this, but in my mind somewhere, someone threw out a statistic that it is very similar, maybe it was Chris, that in the public school system, molestation is similar to that of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, well, it's worse.
Can we pull that up real fast?
Yeah.
While we keep talking about guns in schools. Yeah, I would agree with you guys if you're
I don't know, I did a little bit of research on this, and there really aren't a whole lot of articles about the public school aspect of it, and it's obviously, I feel like there's an agenda there, but I remember, so in France, there was a big thing. They're like, there have been 50,000 incidents of, Catholic priests sexually assaulting children in France, and it was like since 1920. Right. So like they're talking about a 100-year span, like 50,000 incidents of sexual assault happened, which, you know, who knows what they're considering sexual assault. I'm not gonna, go into that, but
everybody's touching the asshole once.
So you look at that rate, it's nothing compared to the public school system rate.
Yeah. Right. And the reason I thought about this is because when you guys talk about guns in schools, and Nick brought up, and you do as well, Chris, we trust our teachers to be with our kids for 6, 7, 8 hours a day.
Don't look at that Jesuit shit.
And yeah, like that's a great point. I am for if a teacher wants to have a gun on them, as they would normally if they, conceal carry, they should. Why is there red tape that they can't? Because they have that one fat fucking police officer on school that like walks around and makes really weird jokes at people, and sometimes could be seen as sexual harassment. Fucking weirdo.
And what I think the only
everybody's got that weirdo cop at the school.
Yeah, I think the only fair argument I've actually heard against this is that, and this is me just giving a little slack. I don't even really think it's a fair argument, but the argument is that you have an irresponsible teacher who maybe leaves the gun somewhere that a student can get it, and then the student, does something either to themselves or another student or, whatever the case may be. And it's just like, okay, well, you're weighing an if, you're weighing so many chances. The chance that, the one that the student knows this one teacher has a gun and knows where it is, and the teacher, like, there's so many ifs, like, if this happened, if this happened, if this happened. It's like, okay, if all that happens, then just charge the fucking teacher with...
It's like whataboutism.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah,
like, what about if? What about if?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I was actually, you and I were talking about what the fuck that term is. We couldn't think of it.
What?
When someone talks in, like, the what if.
Yeah.
I think it's whataboutism,
like preemptive.
Maybe.
Yeah. But it's like...
Pre-crime?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like how can
movie, what is that movie? Starts with
Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Yeah.
Right. That's a edgy title these days.
Yeah, seriously. What the hell?
But yeah, I mean, school, teachers, even lunch ladies just want to be packing. Why not?
Yeah,
especially in Florida, because
some of those lunch ladies look like they're probably a pretty good shot.
Yeah. But especially in Florida, because when I look through news articles for this podcast and see what's going on in our local area of Florida in general, there's quite a bit of people catching school kids plotting to kill their fellow students in Florida.
Yeah, there was one just recently, right?
There was. And
I just want to say those lunch lady arms can handle recoil like nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if that lunch lady
much mass
gets behind you and you don't see her, I bet she could break your neck in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a fucking gun. But yeah, so yeah, Florida might want to allow teachers to carry if they wish.
Yeah,
which is the big part, because everybody will always say, like Chris was saying, Republicans at first were like, we have to arm our teachers. Like, calm down there, Alec Baldwin. Let's just allow teachers to do it.
This is it. Embry-Riddle, which is a college not far from Florida Tech.
Maybe his friends that one guy.
John Hagens, 19, was arrested Thursday outside his apartment in Daytona Beach on charges of written threats to injure or kill, terrorism, and attempted first-degree homicide. With threats to injure or kill. Terrorism, and that's written weird. Police say he is from North Miami Beach. Yeah, anyway, this is 3 days ago. They stopped this kid. Apparently, he was, like, snapping people, some crazy shit, and they stopped him. Yeah, it's interesting.
Which, like,
it's like 2 weeks ago that this shit just happened at my school.
They stopped him, all right. They fucking lit him up. It was awesome.
Oh, at my school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that guy got wrecked. But,
riggedy wrecked.
It's, I don't know. This is like a little tangent whenever I hear these things, like they stopped him, right? Or like preventively stopped. In a sense, they did. But only because the kid was an idiot and apparently snapped that shit.
Yeah.
So, like, people report him. It's not like they're, like actively searching through trying to find school shooters.
Oh, great. Here's one more strike against Catholics. His Facebook page says he graduated from Monsignor Edward Pace High School, a Catholic school near Miami, Opelika Airport.
Yeah.
He had, like, one of those Kel-Tec folding guns. You ever see? You know what I'm talking about?
What?
This was the gun he had.
Oh, my God.
One of these. The Kel-Tec Sub 2000.
Dude, those things are...
trash.
Yeah, those things are fun range guns, though. I have my dad has a High Point similar to one of those. It's like the C9,
look at this guy, bro.
CP9, C-something 9. Wow, that guy's operator. Look how high his optic is.
Yeah, he
fucks
can
with
straight
up just stand straight up and shoot.
He said cheek weld who?
Dude, he has a peck on that thing.
No way. Is that a peck?
Oh, no, I think it's just a flashlight.
Oh, gun talk. I love this
It's
part.
an owl.
Gun talk.
Is it?
Welcome to Gun Talk Hour on Politics on the Rocks podcast.
I don't know. I can't tell.
For two guys talk about guns and two other guys
It's like a $200
talk
gun.
about other things.
It's a $200 gun with like $1,000 worth of attachments.
Yeah, that's an MRO. That's pretty nice.
That's a nice gun you got there.
The guy looks like he's a medic from Battlefield 1942.
It looks like a dropping into Tarkov.
After a wipe?
Yes.
Speak of.
No, but
boys are hitting it hard, son.
What are you guys thinking about, just to kind of wrap this up, give a shout out, sorry, I drank some whiskey, not a shout out, but give our condolences to the people who unfortunately were in the tornado's way.
Yeah.
And then kind of wrap it up with Ukraine.
Yeah,
that was rough, dude.
That's a good move.
Yeah, that looked
tornadoes
really
in
bad.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
What,
Tornado.
the 75 confirmed dead?
Yeah.
Or, let me look up
Arkansas
the actual.
and Kentucky, I think, were the two.
That's the most recent number.
Which,
74.
Is it?
Yeah.
not to make light of the situation, but to kill that many people in that area, that's a fucking terrible thing. There's not a lot of people live there.
Seriously, that thing must have been
10 minutes ago, at least 74 confirmed dead.
Yeah.
Does it? Do we
Expected
know
to-
what the category or whatever of that tornado?
I'm sure it'll
is?
say it in here somewhere.
Because
What's their rating system? It's not it's not like a Cat 5, right?
No, it's what the hell is it? Tornado rating? Let me look it up.
It's probably
Tornado.
something stupid.
Yeah,
that
I don't know. But
weather
I
nerds
think
love.
the thing with this tornado is that
Yeah.
it lasted a long time and went like a lot of distance. And that was one of the reasons that it...
Dude, it went for over 200 miles.
yeah, it went from Arkansas all the way up to Kentucky.
Fucking, that's like a Tesla, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like a Tesla travel distance.
Bro, get the
Jeez.
fuck out of here.
Goddamn, Elon
That's
Musk.
more than that.
What, you think Tesla goes farther than that?
Yeah, for sure they do.
Are you sure?
Depends on
Yeah.
which model you get, right?
No, there's no model that goes like under 300.
No, yeah, they go like 300.
Okay. Sucking Elon Musk over there.
Yeah. We got Elon Musk fan over here.
It depends how much weight you have in the Tesla.
Wow.
You guys sound like have like full blown retards. I don't know. It doesn't say the.
Don't make fun because I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, I didn't see anywhere where it rated this tornado. I was like,
It's like we have no idea.
250 mile
through
path.
4
Holy
states.
Shit.
so Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and I'm guessing Indiana.
Dude, look
Right
at
up
that.
Tornado Alley.
Wait, what am I looking at?
Did it damage the college at all? Because that's where Bowling Green. That's where what the hell campus is out there?
Bowling Green?
No,
Kentucky?
Oh. Because there is a Bowling Green University, right?
Is the little blue devil thing?
No, there's
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, WKU.
Well, you had to hit one of them.
I wonder if it took out any Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh,
Five
that
feet.
would be a tragedy.
EF3, which is 136
highest.
to 165 miles an
That
hour.
was the highest on the
So
scale,
that's
right?
a Cat 4 to Cat 5 hurricane.
And F3, they cut out the E for whatever reason. So yeah, F scale,
Dude,
Fujita scale.
yeah, I would much rather be in the path of a hurricane than in the path of, like, direct path of a tornado. That's the thing, is the
Oh no,
tornado
there's an EF5.
much more concentrated in, like, one area.
Yeah,
But, like,
dude,
if you're
holy
in that area, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like, good luck in that bathtub, guys. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? A lot of the pictures I've seen, it almost looks like being in a car is like your safest place.
Really?
Isn't there like a movie? Like, wasn't there like tornado movies really big in like the early
Twister?
90s?
Twister.
Like they're
Twister was
they're
such
in
a
the
good
car
movie.
underneath the overpass or under the underpass of a bridge, like on a highway.
I honestly haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, I mean, why would
Oh,
you?
I lied. Look at that car.
Terrible movie.
Thing is fucked.
Yeah, that's not great.
The craziest
That's
part about
not great.
tornadoes is look, like all these houses are fucked, and then that house right across the street is perfectly fine.
Yep.
You see that with hurricanes too, though.
Not like this, dude. Not like this.
No,
Hurricanes, you get
You can
tornadoes.
just see the path that it went through.
Yeah,
basically.
man.
I remember, like, when I lived
Look
in
at that.
Kentucky when I was really young, we went up to visit my family in Canada, and while we were up there, a tornado, like, ripped through, I think, Clarksville, Kentucky, which was, like, the town where we were near. And then we when we came back, we had to go there because my mom was, like, applying for her green card because she's an illegal immigrant. No, I'm just
Watch out,
kidding.
DeSantis is gonna come for that.
That's not what illegal immigrants do. But anyways, so we went to the building to go, like, fill out paperwork and stuff, and this building literally was, like, half gone.
That's bizarre.
Like, we were in there just like normal, but, like, there was this big ass blue tarp
Yeah,
hanging,
I love it.
and, like,
Tarp.
half the building was just, like, ripped off.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
You know what's interesting? I haven't seen any videos of Biden there.
Fucking, that guy's dead, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
What do you
not
want them to
really
do,
that
weekend?
interesting. It's just a good point.
What do you want
Yeah.
them to do? Weekend at Bernie's his ass through the streets?
And you say that, and, like, I know that's a huge thing people always say. I'm not saying you particularly, like, are huge and like, oh, where's the president? Why is not everything that happens in the United States? Obviously, that's what people want, and they say that when like their opposite side doesn't do it right.
Yeah,
and it's just like, what the fuck? Why would he go there? Like, what's he gonna do? Fucking rub his hands together and touch the sick and heal them? He's not fucking Jesus.
I mean, it's I totally get. I totally get what you're saying, but yeah, going based off what Chris said, I mean, people. Are you sleeping?
No, I'm good.
No, he's praying to Jesus, but not Biden.
I was just thinking.
No, but obviously we do not view the president that way. But most of the country still views the president as like a very important person. So, well, that too, alive. So I don't know. I feel like.
No, I know what you're saying though. Like
most people, it's just good optics, whether it means anything or not. It's just like, the president. Yeah. Maybe even if it's just for theater, gives a fuck.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. The president came through in Air Force One, saw you guys like fuck this, took a shit, and left.
Ate a steak dinner on his plane and pieced the fuck out.
He shit on your rubbled home.
Yeah, like Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. He went to your burnt down home that you're not even allowed to go to and made a political statement in the middle of the rubble.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was not good.
Hey. But yeah, it sucks, guys. It's a terrible thing to happen, and hopefully, things turn around for the better there eventually.
Yeah, we at Politics on the Rocks are thinking of you.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything like anything beyond saying that we're thinking of you, but we're thinking of you. What?
Call government agencies like FEMA.
Yeah, you pay a lot of taxes; they'll fix something.
If one of those GoFundMe ads gets to my heartstrings enough, I'll probably donate like $20.
Damn, you're rich, bro. I'm gonna donate like $1 or $2, maybe.
Get 50 cents.
Only if they get to me enough, I need some.
Yeah, like show me some dead dogs, and then I'll be like,
oh fuck.
Isn't that so interesting? The psychology behind feeling worse for animals than you do for people.
Well, animals aren't pieces of shit.
So innocent.
Yeah, you're like.
No, it's always the dog. Like,
take my money.
They're obviously videotaping this dog in a cage shaking. Like, why do you just take him out of the cage? You're videotaping him.
Yeah, it is. When you think about how imagine the person filming that. It's like, wow, you're pretty fucked up to be able to film this.
It's like, this is great footage.
I'm donating $20 to a Kentucky dog shelter as we speak.
Imagine that guy's got like the stiffest Woody just filming these like battered dogs. He's like, yes, this is what I live for. I love this.
Well, speaking of battered dogs, Ukraine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a couple battered dogs.
That's a pretty good transition.
It is, actually.
Do we have a link on that, right?
I don't think so, but you probably go to antiwar.com.
Google's your link.
Antiwar.com. Yeah, you probably get some good articles on there.
So, Chris, do you know just the general what's happened?
A little bit. I mean, I guess I think the aggressor was Russia. I mean, look, it's gonna depend on where you're from, who you think the aggressor is. Because the Russians will say, well, it's our territory, so we can move troops wherever the fuck we want. But basically, Russia moved a ton of troops and equipment near the Donbas region, which is there's two provinces called Luhansk and another one that starts with Luhansk, some shit like that. And anyways, so this area that's contested, it's been contested for a while. It's not Crimea, which is, I believe, the international community acknowledges that Crimea is Russia's at this point. But so they brought in, it says 120,000 Russian troops along the Ukrainian border, along with a ton of equipment with armor and artillery and all sorts of things. And so there is tension, and just the Ukrainians believe that the Russians are going to try and invade and take over the Donbas region, which has been contested for
a long time, right?
Basically ever since the U.S. orchestrated the coup in Ukraine in like 2006. No, 2016, sorry.
Yeah, around 15, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just shit that the U.S. gets their nose involved in somehow, as usual. And we're basically pledging our allegiance to Ukraine and saying that we're going to protect them against Russia at all costs. And, our politicians are pledging the lives of our young people for some country that we hardly even know.
Did you guys see the Blinken quote that I quoted him in the notes?
Yeah, I read that.
No.
Oh, Nick, you should read that. It's pretty awesome.
One country can exert a sphere of influence over others. That's what Russia is purporting to assert. That's ironic.
Wow.
And if we let that go with impunity, then the entire system that provides for stability, prevents war from breaking out, is in danger. That's why this is so important. What a crock of fucking shit that statement is.
Wow. One country can't exert its influence over another.
Yeah. So what exactly have we been doing for the last 20 years?
Plus.
That was my thought.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's hilarious because you'll see articles that'll be like, Russian warplane buzzes U.S. ships.
Yeah.
And it's like
where are those
the Black
US
Sea
ships? Yeah, where are those US
in
ships?
the Black Sea off the coast of Russia? Like, why the fuck are we there? That's the real question.
What are Florida National Guardsmen's doing in Ukraine?
Getting that sweet Eastern boost.
I guess so.
Stupid.
That's so true, though. Who knows?
So is this the next big conflict that...
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. Not anything involved with Russia, right?
Yeah, I think Biden, kind of came out with Blinken saying some silly stuff, and then he kind of backed down off.
Well, that's what this article. Biden rules out unilateral force if Russia invades Ukraine. So
we're gonna be there from.
Man, who would have thought Biden would be the voice of reason here?
I know. I read that, and I'm like, based Biden?
Well, first he wasn't. He was fucking nuke Biden, right?
Yeah, exactly. First he was like saying some shit, and you're like, whoa, what are you saying?
Wait, so does this mean that Biden is a Russian agent?
Whoa, tinfoil hat hour.
Did he collude with Russia?
Yeah, I mean he doesn't want to go after them if they invade Russia.
Now imagine
obviously an agent.
Imagine if this happens 3 years ago, and Trump makes that same statement.
Oh my god.
All of a sudden, Trump is abandoning Ukrainians.
Yeah.
And he's siding with his Russian...
Just like he abandoned the Kurds.
Yeah, just like he abandoned the Kurds. The only thing is, which is more to say about Trump being someone who... I'm not going to say he's unstable, because I don't think he is. He's just... I think he's got the fucking biggest ego in the world.
And he probably does a lot of Adderall and eats McDonald's.
Like, if Trump did he never... I don't think he ever said he was going to... Like, he never said anything similar to what Biden said, I don't think.
About what?
About like, nuclear attacks, right?
No, I don't think he ever... well, maybe.
He probably made...
I really don't know.
He might have insinuated
using nukes against... He probably did.
But wait, when? Just in this?
No, like, in his presidency.
Oh, right.
But it's just... If Trump did, and who knows, maybe he did, and I just didn't think much about it, I just feel like I would believe him more than I would Biden. Like, I'd be like...
I just, out of curiosity, I just typed Trump nuke to see if he had ever actively quoted it, and it's all people just basically speaking in what ifism, oh, Trump is the sole controller of the nuclear codes, and how top generals hid nukes from. Yeah, it's not true at all, but yeah, it's just fucking stupid.
There's a whole chain that has to happen for a nuke to be launched. And Milley is in that chain.
Right, and he's the one criticizing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, anyway.
Yeah. So, again...
It came out that he was, speaking to Chinese...
Yeah.
Foreign
telling them that he would let them know if we invaded.
If the nukes are flying.
Yeah, he would give them a heads up. And then recently it came out that they said that they wouldn't give us that same courtesy.
Good.
No shit. What the fuck?
Why would you?
You expect your enemy to be like, hey, we're going to attack you guys on this day here.
Yeah. We'll send out flyers. Pamphlets. But, I think a great place to go to, which we've mentioned, and we just actually were on the website, is antiwar.com for this kind of stuff. Scott Horton is pretty much everywhere, liberty-minded podcasts, media in general, and
this guy just knows so much about this.
Devote his life to it.
You listen to a podcast with this guy, and he just can't shut up about it. Because
he just gets on a tangent.
You listen to him with Dave Smith, it's hilarious, because Dave Smith loves to talk, but he can't get a word in. Yeah. Because Scott Horton's just going on and on and on and on and on about this shit, because he knows so much about it. Yep. It's
he might get
awesome
hard on too for it, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he loves it because it's like
that's
a passion.
That's his bread and butter, man.
He doesn't love the war part, obviously, hence why he runs antiwar.com, but he loves just, knowing about this stuff, because then whenever he sees them lie, he knows they're lying.
Yeah.
And he can tell you exactly how they're lying and why they're lying.
That debate he did was so good.
With
Bill Kristol or whatever.
Bill Kristol.
Yeah.
Just absolutely destroyed this guy. This guy's, like, within 15 minutes, he didn't even want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Because he realized
He's like, shit, I'm in over my head.
Yeah. It's just everything Bill Kristol was saying was opinion-based, and everything Scott Horton was saying was fact-based, and there's just nothing that you could do to refute what Scott Horton was saying.
I think the mic's holding his head up right now.
Yeah, I think the only thing keeping Cam from like falling out of his chair is the mic.
Yeah. Shit, I don't know. What do you guys think?
The last thing I just want to say.
I think we should keep going. You got another topic?
The last thing I want to say on this Ukraine, which we've probably said before, but when it comes to obviously like war in general and America trying to act as it's a superpower and empire, which it is. And people are like, "Oh, we should do this because why is Russia trying to, patrol its borders and blah blah blah, whatever it's trying to do?" It's like, how would you feel if Russia set up, set up routine, bases, or not even routine bases, just set up military bases, in Mexico, right? Everybody would be fucking freaking out.
Yeah,
rightfully so. Yeah, but that's what we do to them all the time. That's what NATO is.
You saw what happened when Russia set up a missile base in Cuba.
Yep.
We're still
never
dealing with the consequences of that to this day.
Yeah, and that was in response to us doing something in...
Well, we tried to attempt a coup there.
Well, I think we did other things too. Didn't we bring a missile or do something in...
Probably to Poland or something.
Yeah. Fucking Polish are bitches. But, yeah.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Poland
is very... honestly, Poland is very based, but also they're very welcoming to, the U.S. right now, which, I think they see it as a good strategy, and but it's not helping with the relations with Russia because we're just inching closer and closer.
Yeah. And I think don't they have a union? Isn't there like a union between like the front people?
They're in NATO. Poland is.
No, but isn't there like a union of like Poland, Ukraine, all those like outlining countries of Russia?
Like Lithuania.
Yeah. Like I thought they did that because they're like, hey, we got rid of
former Eastern Bloc countries that got invaded by the USSR and then
once they broke free,
eventually gained their freedom. They're very. I mean, you talk to anybody from those countries, they are rabidly anti-communist, and they just like. Anything to do with Russia, they don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, just look at what is Rose Namajunas or whatever in the UFC. Whenever she was fighting against a Chinese fighter, and she just went off on communism and stuff.
Yeah,
and, I mean she's from Lithuania, I think. I hope I got that right. But it's a country that was just absolutely ravaged by the USSR, and she probably has grandparents who lived through it and have some very fucked up stories to say about.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for Americans to remove themselves from like a lot of that tension because it's been how many years since we've had to actively defend ourselves or you know what I mean. Where a lot of countries in the Middle East, Europe, and near Russia and stuff like that, they're only a generation or two out from having to do those kind of things.
Yeah,
it's one of the things I think people should take it upon themselves to learn about is the Bolshevik Revolution and all the things that proceeded from that and during the time around World War I. And afterwards, something that we don't learn a lot about in the U.S., maybe it's a coincidence or maybe it's on purpose, but it's just, Warsaw, Poland was literally razed to the ground, the entire fucking city. Yeah. There was one church that was left standing, heavily damaged, and the whole city was just torn to the ground. And, crazy shit priests were crucified and because they were,
some really gnarly shit.
Yeah, they were super anti-religious and things like that. So they were very hateful people as well.
Well,
violence is bad.
Yeah, I think we should wrap this up. Cam has actively been sleeping for the last 5 minutes.
I'm here.
I've been there, so.
You guys have any closing remarks or any things you want to say? All right, cool. Good night.